Welcome to another edition of Pendragon Poetry. This time we are in the Sidonia, Chalkidiki Peninsula. That over there is Mount Athos, the holy mountain of the gods. And there's like a load of hippies on the beach. So, it's called Paradise Beach actually. Anyway, I'm currently heading to Troy, studying the Iliad by Homer, and I'll also be writing a Concordia called The Death of Achilles. Now, it doesn't actually happen in the Iliad, but it gets foreshadowed, it gets prophesied that he's going to die. And I've been reading it to study for the composition period, and I've come across a lot of interesting insights that should explain exactly where the Trojans beached their ships. Well, the Myrmidons did anyway, Achilles' mob, and also where Achilles was buried, and his Patrocolus, which is his best mate. So he's basically buried on top of him in the somewhere in the Troad. Now, the several sites have been put forward, you know, Benki Tepe, but that's in the sort of on the west coast. And you've got a couple of mounds, I think they're called Kepi something or other, there in the northwest corner. Anyway, so what I've been doing, I've been reading through book 23, which is the Funeral of Patrocolus. Some really interesting, like, geographical sort of identifications of roughly where geographical pointers. Now, I found it when I found Forky's Cove, on Kefalonia. It shows that Homeric sites were real. So anyway, enough of my mumbling. So this is book 23. It goes, the Achaeans withdrew to the Hellespont. That's fair enough. So we now know that the Achaeans, the Greeks, had beached their ships on the sort of north of Asia Minor, the southern shore of the Hellespont. So that's quite simple enough. Which means Benki Tepe is out. Okay, so the next one is, basically they have this chariot race in the funeral games. And Homer describes a turning point, so the chariots all race out and reach a turning point and then come back. Now, the turning point is described as this. It is flanked by two white stones. The road narrows at this point, but the going is good on both sides of the monument, which either marks an ancient burial or must have been put as a turning post by people of an earlier age. So which is quite interesting, because that's the Mycenaean age, what he's talking about. Anyway, so the tree stump will have well rotted for after 3,500 years, but the two white stones might still be there. So we're looking for two white stones somewhere south of the Hellespont, and Homer adds more details, saying that the turning point was far away on level ground, so it's a straight plane between the shore and these two white stones. We also get another pointer. It says, they saw a place where the sunken road grew narrow, it ran through a gully. So somewhere between the two white stones, the Achaean camp, there is a gully. And there's one last bit of interesting information, which is found in the last book of the Iliad, and when Priam goes to Achilles to give a ransom for the body of his son Hector. And there's a really interesting bit where it says, let me just find it. It's hard work doing this in the wind. Right there it is. No, there it is. Okay, so it says, with that the bringing of luck, blah blah blah, and I can't see it, but basically they go past what's called the mound of Achilles. Anyway, that's where it is. So, it's like a burial mound. Here it is, sorry. Meanwhile, the two men had driven past the great barrow of Ilus and stopped their mules and horses for a drink at the river. So we're now looking for a burial mound next to a river, which is probably the Scamander. That's going to be between Troy, the mound of Ilus, then we're going to reach the turning point, and then the beach. So it's going to be like a straight line, roughly, what we're going to be able to follow. Well, roughly-ish anyway. So that's very exciting news. We'll be heading towards Troy. Now, if you want to donate to the mission, don't forget to do PayPal. And then that's the difference between me staying in my little orange tent or a right swanky place. I hope you're all enjoying your lockdown. I was enjoying it. I wasn't enjoying it, to tell the truth, so I thought I'd just get out and do some proper poetry. So here we go. Let's have one last little look at the place where we're at. There we go.